For the mind of the Father said into three, and immediately all things were so divided. Zoroaster. Let my readers be good enough to remember, then, that what follows concerns myself only. This must excuse the use of the first person, highly improper in a scientific essay, were it not that the personality of the experimenter is perhaps an essential. I cannot assert that my results would be achieved by another, yet I have the strong conviction that I have eliminated many sources of error, and that my observations may possess a more absolute value in psychology than those of Ludlow, or even of my great master Baudelaire. The few on whom I have been able to test the drug have in large measure confirmed and in no way contradicted my results. In the first place, I make an absolute distinction between three effects of hashish, which may be, and I think probably are, so distinct they appear, due to three separate substances. Possibly a simple stimulus curve may account for it, but I do not think so. 1. The volatile aromatic effect, A. This, the first evanescent symptom, gives the thrill described by Ludlow as of a new pulse of power pervading one. Psychologically, the result is that one is thrown into an absolutely perfect state of introspection. One perceives one's thoughts and nothing but one's thoughts, and it is as thoughts that one perceives them. Material objects are only perceived as thoughts. In other words, in this respect, one possesses the direct consciousness of Berkeleyan idealism. The ego and the will are not involved. There is introspection of an almost, if not quite purely impersonal type, that and nothing more. I am not to be understood as asserting that the results of this introspection are psychologically valid. 2. The toxic hallucinative effect, B. With a sufficiently large dose, for it is possible to get effect, alpha, only as a transient phenomenon, the images of thought pass more rapidly through the brain, at last vertiginously fast. They are no longer recognized as thoughts, but imagined as exterior. The will and the ego become alarmed and may be attacked and overwhelmed. This constitutes the main horror of the drug. It is to be combated by a highly, may I say magically, trained will. I trust my readers will concede that the practice of ceremonial magic and meditation, all occult theories apart, do lead the mind to immense power over its own imaginations. The fear of being swept away in the tide of relentless images is a terrible experience. Woe to who yields. 3. The narcotic effect, G. One simply goes off to sleep. This is not necessarily due to the brain fatigue induced by A and B, for with one sample of cannabis, I found it to occur independently.